Welcome back, guys. It is nighttime in Melbourne, and I thought I would make this video to give you an all-important channel update. First of all, the Toyota GR Yaris, the car I'm in today, is finally for sale. I know I've spoken on it for many months now, for more than 6 or 7 months, but I've finally listed it. I've paid for the ad. It is going. The car's not the issue. The issue is me. It is I. I can't seem to hold on to cars, right? Let's be real. And the Toyota GR Yaris, I think I've held on to for one of the longest periods of time. My BMW was, I believe that was the shortest period. I got rid of that BMW in 10 months. I loved the drive, but it was a trash car in terms of repairs. My GR Yaris, I've held this for 2.5 years. If I reflect on it, it is really the perfect car. It has great power. It has a great manual transmission. I love the steering. I love the speed. I love the Toyota badge. I like the reliability. I like the resale value. It's got enough space for the kids. I mean, there's all this good stuff happening with the car, but I just want to try something different. That's where I am. I've listed it for 39,400 Aussie dollars. It's a 2021 model, full service history, 2 keys, 59,000 kilometers, $2,000 worth of front brakes just done. Is it as cheap as people would want it to be? No, it's not. And that has to do with a few facts, right? I think people want it to be cheaper because the car originally was near this price. But that's just the field we're in with the GR Yaris. These things don't depreciate that much. And they haven't started appreciating just yet, but they will at some stage. So that's why, there's no point of listing it too cheap. I'm not someone who's going to just sell it for pennies. And there's no reason for me to. It's a reliable car. I like it. I love it, actually. So I want to get a good price for it, a price that I think is worth it, that does the car justice. Truth be told, if I'm unable to achieve that price, I might even keep it. I really do want to try something different, but if the price isn't right this year, guys, I'm going to keep it. That's honestly how I feel. Otherwise, I'm pretty motivated to get even, something like a BRZ or a Toyota GR86 or a Hyundai i30N Premium, which is also known as an Elantra N in other places of the world. I'm more leaning these days towards the BRZ and GR86 cars because I would like a manual transmission, rear-wheel drive, limited slip differential, back-to-basic sports car again. And I am leaning more towards the Toyota GR86. Only issue with the GR86 is it commands about a $4,500, $5,000 premium in the Australian used car market. They're effectively the same cars, but I think the GR86 looks better from the front. The GR86 has a sharper throttle. The way the throttle is programmed, you get a lot more of the throttle with very little input. The BRZ is more linear. I like those sharp Toyota throttles. I had that type of throttle in my Camry. I really liked it. It made it feel fast, even though it wasn't faster. And then the GR86 is a bit more tail happy, which I like. So that's kind of where I'm sitting, guys. Number 2, my friend, he's got a 2023 Toyota GR Supra. And he called me the other night. It's a manual GR Supra. I think he paid $110,000 Australian dollars for that car. Since he bought it, maybe 2 years into his purchase, his car would get a drivetrain error and it would stop on the side of the road and lose all boost. And he had to effectively wait 15 minutes for the BMW systems to reset. It's a Toyota Supra, but underneath it's a BMW. It's been happening more and more often. And so much so that he took it to, the first time that happened, he took it to Toyota. They couldn't pull the codes. Now it's happening more and more. They were able to pull the codes. For some reason, they can't pull the old codes because it rewrites the code. That's what they're telling him. And they have found the drivetrain error, and they believe it's due to contaminated fuel. And because it's contaminated fuel, in their view, right now the story is that they won't do warranty work. So they want him to pay to get the fuel tested and pay for the problem solving and all that stuff. And if it is contaminated fuel, I think they're going to charge him $2,000 to go into his fuel tank and clean it out. So unfortunately, that is a $110,000 car under warranty, and that's what Toyota's saying. Now he's gone to some other mechanics and he's trying to get a bit of a second opinion. And I believe the other workshops have told him that contaminated fuel is unlikely, and it's maybe ignition coil or something like that. And truth be told, he fills it up at British Petroleum, BP, 98, which in Australia is kind of like the premier type fuel. So I also don't believe it should be contaminated fuel, but that's kind of how Toyota are treating it. And it looks like it's a way for him to not get anything done under warranty, right? They want him to pay for it. If I look at the warranty work that I had done for my GR Yaris, which was a water pump, Toyota were pretty good about it. They only said that they would charge me for any investigative work out of pocket if I had crashed the car or something I'd done had led to the water pump. They saw that it wasn't that. So they did all the warranty work for me on the house without any issues. So my experience with Toyota is a little bit different to his. I'm surprised he's having that experience with Toyota. I mean, part of me believes that he should probably go to a different Toyota dealer. That's probably something I'll have a chat with him about. I think it's unacceptable for a $110,000 car, a car that's, kind of getting near the BMW M2 price range. And for a car like that, for the manufacturer to not treat that issue as a warranty issue, I think it's unacceptable. And he actually messaged me the other day and he said, you know what, after this, I'm not going to buy modern cars anymore because this is what happens. And I think it's true, guys. Modern cars, I was actually talking to someone about his house, right? He's got an old property that he's bought, something built in the 80s. And I said, hey, how are old properties? Are issues popping up? And he said, you know what, houses, they were just built better back in the day. And he believes it. And you know what, I believe it too. And it goes the same with cars and most other things. That's my update. I'll catch you next time.